All right, in this chapter, we're going to be talking about holding food, and I wanted to bring Ralph back because at Sizzler, they have a very dynamic salad bar where I think you guys do this very well, where you hold cold and hot food. So no concerns with food safety and holding food,
Oh,
right?
no, none whatsoever.
You're all good?
Yeah, we're all good. Actually, you talk about constant monitoring.
Yeah.
We do that a lot. I mean, we have, especially in all of our new restaurants, we have state-of-the-art equipment that these
Yep.
things are fabulous. I go back to, 30 years ago, and we had stuff sitting on ice, even though I strongly believe that stuff sitting on ice probably keeps it better
Yeah.
than anything else. But we have very sophisticated refrigerated wells for our salad bars and steamers. We have induction heaters now
Yep.
that really work fantastically. But the main thing on our stuff is that we try to take every step that we can to maintain. Cold is the biggest issue.
Sure.
Cold is the biggest issue, trying to keep everything 41 or below. So we monitor our temps every 2 hours,
Okay.
for sure. And that's because it gives us an opportunity for corrective actions.
Right.
And at the same time, we want to make sure that everything's right. I train
Corrective
people
actions means if it bumps up about higher than 41,
we
you
can
have the
still
time to bring
rechill
it back down to get it
correctly, yeah.
within
the
the
4
danger
hour
zone.
that the window
Out of it,
exactly. So we monitor it every 2 hours. We again always looking for the new and innovative ways to do it. It's a task, it's a
Sure.
challenge when you have 75 items out on the bar and you got to temp every single one of them. We used to do it with a thermometer and log it
Yep.
in by hand. And now we have a HACCP manager thermometer, and you can program it to follow exactly the flow. We have two aspects of our cold salad bar.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our regular, what you would call salad bar. So you start with the lettuces,
Yep.
and you flow into all the topicals,
Yep.
and then into the dressings.
Okay.
And then you usually go into a side where there's fruit, cut fruit, whether it be watermelon, melons, pineapple, etc.
Sure.
And then you go over to the other side where now we have all the prep salads,
Okay.
which would be seafood salad, whatever the salad for the current promotion is. We have probably 20 different types of salads that we make.
Sure.
And so you program your thermometer to follow the flow. And it becomes an easier thing because now you temp this, you sanitize the needle, you press enter, you temp this, and so everything flows faster. And once you press enter, it's actually recording it,
Records it back.
into your computer.
Knowing that this is item one, prepped, done.
Yeah, it's actually listed, the names are on it, so you know exactly what the item is.
You're pretty fortunate in that you have the ability to have that technology. Let's say I'm in a facility, mom and pop, and I don't have that. I'm a new manager and I'm coming in. I've got ice. I've got the room. How would you suggest doing that in terms of holding that properly?
Well, you still have to follow the procedure is the same regardless of the equipment that you use. So
Okay.
again, if you're keeping it on ice, again, going back 20 years, that's how we had our initial salad bar. Yeah, the salad bar a little smaller, but still you had the Crocs and ice. Some of the steps that we put in place is everything comes out of a cooler
Okay.
or a reach-in. We actually have the Crocs. We store them in coolers or reach-ins because that way the Crock is cold. You're putting cold product into a cold Crock, into a cold salad bar.
Got it.
So
it
you
stays
try to
cold
maintain
from,
the chain of custody there.
from storage all the way out
All
to
the
where
way
it's
to
being
where it
held.
goes, yes.
Okay.
And if you're a mom and pop and you still have ice, and I don't think we have any of those anymore, but anyway, and you still have ice, the procedure's still the same. You want to keep the Crocs cold, the product cold, and you still want to temp every 2 hours. We have an actual sheet
Yep.
that we used before that you can actually customize it. It's in an Excel spreadsheet, and so you customize it again in the order that you want.
Yep.
Temperature, log it in, and we actually make people keep those logs for 90 days, because if there's ever any questions or anything, the health department will come in and ask us for a temperature.
So I want to talk to you about your salad bar and areas of concern on that piece. If you have one piece in terms of your salad bar, what would be the biggest concern and challenge that you have to date? I think I know the answer to this, but I want to give you the opportunity to say.
Our guests.
Your guests.
Our guests. For the most part, we have pretty good guests, but you know, it's I
You
tell
can't control it.
You can't control your guests. You can try to educate them. You can
Yep.
try to guide them, but people are people.
What's the most outrageous thing you've seen?
I've seen people actually go in there with their hands and try a product, put it in their mouth, and they like it. They actually go back for seconds. You talk about double dipping, huh? And so, I mean, you look at it and your skin just crawls.
So
you know?
you've done everything possible to hold it correctly. You got the right temperature. You've made sure that there's no
We
cross
prepped it with the
contact, no
correct-
contamination.
exactly.
And then the guest
and
gets in
then
front
just
of it.
comes in there and sticks their hands in there, and so they come out of the bathroom, and you're hoping that at least they wash their hands. So,
So then what do you do with that when you've seen that?
so when we see that, we correct it automatically. That product gets discarded. No questions
Removed,
asked, no
discarded,
nothing. Yeah,
done.
we're not going to take any chances. So that product gets discarded. New product, new tongs, fresh tongs come out.
Okay.
It's that simple. We have several people that monitor. We have installed cameras in our salad bar area to monitor that.
Got it.
We have our salad bar team captains that monitor. During busy times, they're out there all the time. You know,
Yep.
if they need product, they'll radio in the back, say, I need this, I need that. And so even our cashiers, when they have downtime, they come because they're always wiping the bar. I
It's
mean,
constantly monitoring.
constant monitoring.
Constant training. We
Mm-hmm.
keep going back and forth. You talk about your figure eight routine, so that's puts it into that perspective. So,
Yes, it's a
because
constant
things are
monitoring.
going to happen. It's how you deal with them as they do.
You know, it's so funny. One of the other things that we deal with guests, and I don't know how many people really know this, but if you're going to a self-serve environment, a salad bar, so on and so forth,
Yeah.
every time you go up, you need a clean plate. You need a fresh, clean plate.
Yeah.
And we bump into people that come up with their dirty plate, and you know, oh, let me get you a fresh one. No, it's okay. You don't need to dirty another one. And we literally, again, educating our guests and letting them know it's actually a violation of the health department
Yep.
if I let you go up there with a dirty plate. I said, because again, cross contamination of whatever, your tongue touches the plate and
Yep.
then touches the product, your possibility of contaminating food.
It is one of those where you talk about you've done again everything right, you've trained everything, but you've got an unknown factor of that human element of your customers.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and you still have to monitor them.
We still have to monitor them. Lately, we we started some time back with liquid gels,
Yeah.
but now we've actually put these little towers that dispense foam sanitizing.
Yeah.
It's not the cure-all, but certainly is a
It
nice safety step. And we put it in strategic areas, and we actually see the guests using it a lot,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. But again, nothing we ever do is a 100% sure thing because
Yep.
it has the human element.
It does. It does. Well, Ralph, thanks so much for helping us out with the holding. So now let's go back, and Sabrina and I are going to go more in depth on this topic.